If you're wondering what's going on the planet right now, I'm here to tell you. Doo-doo-doo-doo. We are going through an awakening, an initiation, if you will. The planet is going through a shift. It's going through a reset. It's going through a rebirth. And as above, so below, as within, as without. So since the world and the earth is going through this, guess what? So are we. Our consciousness is going through a shift. We are being forced to let go of beliefs and ideologies that are no longer resonating with who we really are, our higher self, if you will. So our ego is kind of being forced to go through the uncomfortableness of looking at our lives, at our things, at our circumstances, at ourselves, of who we are. And the ego likes to understand things through labels and through boxes, and this can look like trying to identify my gender and my religion and my occupation and the car that I drive, and this makes the ego feel understood. But what if you saw yourself from an eagle's perspective? What if I told you, you are none of these things? These are just things that you are experiencing for a temporary time. But what if you are beyond any label? What if you lived through the awareness of nothingness? What if you attached yourself to nothing? What if you didn't label any part of you? What if you just simply experienced your life, this present moment and moments, and just observed yourself without trying to reach for an understanding from yourself and others of who you are? We're being forced to question any major corporation, any major way of thought, any major belief system. So we're going through a time where we're trying and we are dissecting and questioning our politics, our religions, our school systems, our ancestry, where we come from, our family traditions, our influences. We have our societal influences, the media, social media. We're questioning everything. Why do we do what we do? Because we are going through a time where we can no longer do things just because it's what we do. We're going through a time where we are questioning ourselves and our lives, and if anything is not in alignment, it's becoming very clear, very obvious, because it's making you feel extremely uncomfortable. We are being forced to grow and expand outside of these limitations, of these labels, and of these fears. And this is essentially a burning process. It's a death process. We're going through an ego death of things of no longer serving us, and so is the earth. So this process looks very scary and very uncomfortable because it's the unknown. But what if you chose to, instead of judging yourself or the process or anyone else, what if you just focused on simply letting go, simply surrendering to the process without any fight, without any desire to attach to a label or a box to make you feel comfortable, because it's not making you feel comfortable anymore. And if you go into your heart frequency, if you go into your heart space, if you go into this Christ consciousness, you'll get into a energy of trust. Like I always say, an energy of faith, trust, and pixie dust. And when you just let go into this space, you have no fear. You have no judgment. You simply allow God to take the wheel, and you just sit back and enjoy the ride. And you observe yourself, and you observe things without attaching to it. And when you become the observer and you get outside of your ego of who you think you are, and you just be, you'll find a feeling of, I want to do things that light my inner fire. I want to paint again. All of a sudden, I want to dance my ass off. I want to start making music. I want to host a party and get all my friends together. I want to, do these things that just light you up. And the more you start to do these things that you feel so called to do by being in your heart space, the more flooded you will get with inspirations, good ideas, enlightenment, aha moments. And then you will act on these aha moments that you are receiving from higher consciousness, because you're opening your vessel, you're opening your body, mind, and spirit to become a pure vessel of receiving things from your higher self, from God. And then you're inspired, and then you're feeling good, and then you're reminding people what it feels like to feel good. It's our birthright to feel good, to feel inspired, because when we feel good and inspired, that's how we help people the most, because we're in a loving vibration, we're in a stoked vibration, we're vibrating so high that negative energy can't really seep into us so much, because we're vibrating so fast it just shakes it off. And we're just stoked, we're just excited, we're just expressing ourselves, we're doing a dance, we're listening to God, and we're beating to the drum, we're beating to the love that we are all tuned into. It's just a matter of letting go and surrendering to that. You'll also be more of a fun parent. You're just more of a fun colleague. Like, you have these good ideas and you just act on it without no fear, because you're just like, you just feel that pull, you just feel that intuition, you feel that spirit, you feel ready to step into who you really are, which is a peaceful, energetic, trusting, loving, blissful human. And when you start to experience this vibrational state, this frequency, you then realize that you can step into heaven now. Heaven is on earth. Heaven is a consciousness. Hell is a consciousness. Hell is stagnation. Hell is scared to let go. Hell is trying to control everything. Hell is judgment. Hell is fear. Hell is guilt. So if we can get out of the hell frequencies into a higher, playful, surrendering, let God, let go, just flow, play, create, then you've stepped into heaven. And we are stepping into heaven, because the veil of the metaphysical and the cosmos and the heavens is literally disintegrating. We are entering a new earth. It's a consciousness. And This process is scary, but it doesn't have to be. Because if you just fully observe yourself, get outside of yourself from a bird's eye perspective, you'll all of a sudden step into bliss and let God just lead the way. And here's the thing, is God is running through you. You are God. God is inside of you and outside of you. So you dance with this God love energy, and everything becomes love. And you start to love what you do, and you start to love your life, and you start to love your enemy. And love is the ultimate highest frequency ever. So that's what's going on in your neck of the woods.